years ago, I was just doing a slow read of Isaiah, and then the section really from chapter 40 on, but 40
Mhm.
to 55 were just really, I just steeped in them. And when I got to 55, I I just kept noticing things that I hadn't noticed before. And so if it begins with, come all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. If you have no money, just come and buy and you can drink and it's going to be wonderful. And then if you'll allow my little kind of Bonnie paraphrase of it, the first 5 verses are kind of like that. Come on, this is great and the Lord has got you. And I can almost picture that there is a scribe maybe writing what Isaiah is downloading to him, from the Lord. And then the scribe stops and says, but like, what if you've like messed up? You've done some really big bad things. Like, can you still like taste and see God's goodness? Can you still come and drink from these waters? And then he says these 2 verses that were really they were the anchor. They became the roadmap for the book. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways and the unrighteous their thoughts. Let them turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, to our God, for he will freely pardon. And those verbs just jumped out at me: seek, call, forsake, turn, mercy. That's not a verb, but and pardon. And again, I'm picturing the scribe then stopping after that and saying, but how can that be? How can it be that that there's going to be pardon for my sins? I'm really broken. I'm a mess, that he will abundantly pardon me. How does that work? And then these 2 verses I just love, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And those verses are thrown around in such a cavalier way when we can't explain God. When something bad happens to one of our friends, oh, well, God's ways are higher than our ways. And that's how we throw those verses around. But that's not how Isaiah offered them to us. They were offered to us as the response when we say, how in the world could you forgive me? How in the world can my sins be abundantly pardoned? Because my ways aren't your ways. And that's how I operate, says the Lord. And so when I was writing this, I thought we've got to start out from that place of who is God? Who is Jesus? Because we're never going to be able to look deeply at our sin and then, oh my goodness, confess it, unless we are firmly, firmly convinced of our belovedness in this God that we love, that we serve. And so that Isaiah 55, those verses like became the anchor for the book. And so we begin with seek. We have to seek, who is this Jesus into whose image we desire to be transformed? And then we have to call out to him for forgiveness. And then we start looking into turning away from things and forsaking things and receiving God's pardon.